Hey guys, it's your girl Coco Kenzie back at it with another video. So today's topic actually came from Reddit, and it's to speak or not to speak. That is the question, okay? No, seriously guys, but the question on Reddit that I saw that intrigued me was, do you never trust a friend who speaks, or do you never trust a friend who is silent? Now, before we get into this topic, guys, make sure you are a part of the family so you can be a part of more conversations and we can learn and grow together. If you're already a part of the family, thank you guys so much. I feel and love the support. And if you're already a part of the family, then you already know on some level where I'm going, because you know that, almost never do I ever believe that anything is all one way. Life is layered, is complex, and different things apply to different situations. This is no different. Hopefully not for everybody, but hopefully for most of us, with age comes maturity, more wisdom. We know when to speak and when not to speak. It can apply differently. And also, if you're already a part of the family, then you know we got to break it down with a little story time. So I'm going to take you back in the day, just on myself. So as we talk about when not to speak, when to speak, and just hopefully with age, how you know and don't put yourself in stupid situations by not speaking or speaking too much, whichever the case. So when I was 17, I think my friend was 18, or boyfriend was 18. You know, first of all, we were in the age of like ride or die. Like, you know, you really, like, if you were going to be a good friend, we had to ride out together. So her boyfriend was cheating on her, and he was dealing with a girl that was 16, he's black male. He's 18, black male. She's 16, white girl. Now, I say this just because I'm painting the picture of why this could be a dangerous situation to begin with. Now, it's not dangerous in this, but it, you know, anytime, even though 18 and 16, we can be in the same schools together, but, you know, all it takes is a little gray area to turn into a bigger case. So 18, technically legal, dealing with technically a minor. So she's somewhat aware of the situation. Now, she calls me because she's finding out more information about the situation, about the girl. Now, what me now knows, didn't know that then. Stupid, again, ride or die mentality. We got to ride or die. So she's telling me, and instead of me diffusing the situation, not hyping her up, I'm listening. She's telling me about the cheating, this and that. And then, you know, well, girl, why, you know, you going to do this? Well, we need to, foolishness begins. So she calls him, and foolish him answers in the midst of a sexual act, which, first of all, is cruel. It's me, you know, so it's like taunting, because it's like, I know you're not going to leave, but that's a whole nother thing. So, of course, that fuels her up, and it's fueling me up, too, because it's mad disrespectful. So she calls and she's like, let's ride out. You know, I know where to add this and that. I'm going to do this and that. She's got all these plans. Again, in this moment, like, you know, it's like Dave Chappelle, when keeping it real goes wrong. In that moment, why didn't I say this was a friend? I know, like, never trust a friend who's silent. But, like, friend, you shouldn't have trusted me in that moment because I was a fool. I shouldn't have trusted myself. But foolish us rides out. Don't know what we're doing. Just foolish, okay? So we ride out. The girl's father, he owns this big entertainment complex where we live. And she knows this. So as she keeps calling out, telling her to boyfriend, you know, you keep playing with me, this and that, this going to happen. And he's like, whatever, because he keeps constantly answering in the midst of this act so she can hear all the moans, groans, all these kind of things, okay? So this just rage. I mean, I can see like where her eyes look different. She is like zoned out, headed to this entertainment complex to meet with this girl's father. She gets there. She asks, you know, can I speak to such and such? And it was like a weekday, so it wasn't busy. It was morning, kind of rainy, so it wasn't busy yet. And I'm just standing off to the side like, oh, friend, what are you doing? But again, not saying that because I'm ride or die, right? So friend goes up to the, you know, she meets with the guy and she says, hey, you know, I'm such and such wife. I'm looking for my husband and I have reason to believe that he's with your daughter at this hotel. Now, as a father, as a grown man, he sees woman, and my friend comes across much older than she is when we were younger. She comes across very mature. She has a mature look. So as a father, he's probably thinking, my daughter is off with this grown man. So immediately he gets on the phone, and thank you for telling me this. I'm gonna take care of this immediately. So you hear him calling his daughter, telling him, you need to leave, you need to get to me right now. You know, I'm calling the police, this and that. So of course my friend, with this sinister grin on her face, not knowing all the kind of poo she has caused and is about to create, you know, well, such and such, you need to, it sounds to me like you need to get out because the police are being called on you. What the F? Why would you do this? And I'm like, well, first of all, you were taunting her, this and that. But I'm like, okay, well, whatever. S is about to hit the fan. So I'm coming to pick you up. I suggest you hurry up and get in this car. And like the hotel was like literally right down the street. So we get there pretty quickly. Literally, it's cussing going back and forth, all kind of stuff. He does hop in the car. And like literally right as we're pulling out of the hotel, the police are coming in. And I'm just like, oh my God. Now, thank God that didn't turn into a worse situation. But how could we have diffused that whole situation, guys? Because it really just, I mean, thank God nothing too major came out of the situation that was awful. But like, I felt that the girl wound up getting sent to like a boarding school in another state. It was just like a very just interesting situation that didn't have to happen. If I would have spoke up to my friend, I'm not saying it would have changed everything, but you see, like, there's a time to speak up. So, of course, if I tell her story, in all fairness, I got to tell my own. I can't have her out here being a fool, and we were fools right there together. So, of course, I'm fueling off of her situation. Like, yeah, it's time to check folks. You know, we going to check them because we got to keep it real. We ride and die. So, my boyfriend at the time, I believe to be cheating on me too. And coming fueling off her situation, it was like, you know, we're gonna go check it. And so we ride out to where he lives. Now his apartment, where he is, has like a balcony, but it's a balcony that's obtainable. How do I know this? Yes, that's what we're gonna talk about. Where you can reach to get up there if you choose to. And so I'm sitting there on my phone talking to him because he's answering, because I keep calling like an idiot at this point, like a real, like something's wrong, okay? So I keep calling because I see you right there and I see you looking at your phone, so you obviously know I'm calling. So finally he answers, and I'm like, well, what are you doing? And you know, again, this is crazy, okay? This is why we pray for our kids that they're not as stupid as us, okay? This is why we on y'all kids sometimes. So he answers, and he says all these things that he's doing that he's really not, because I'm looking dead at him. And so again, hanging from the balcony. What you doing? I mean, he can't see me quite now because I'm up and down. Sometimes like I'm crawling to see a little bit more, but they're not, like, nobody's paying attention. There are girls in there, so I can see all these things as he's rolling up. And so I'm listening to lie after lie after lie. And so I go back to the car where my friend is, and I'm like, you know, he's lying. He's this, and I'm sitting up here watching him with these girls and this and that, you know. And so I'm like, at this point, I'm like, F it, you know, I'm gonna tell him. So I tell him, like, you know, look, well, why are you lying? He was like, what are you talking about? I was like, well, I know you're home. I see you got on this. And I tell him exactly what he has on and this and that. And he was like, what is wrong with you? Like, of course, I mean, looking back, I probably would have been like, what's wrong with me too? So I tell him to come outside. And I'm like, Fitz, because I'm like, we're going to check him, right? We checked him. And so I tell him, like, you know, this and that. Why are you lying? Blah, blah, blah. Now, again, should have told myself, friend, because I know, because we're so much smarter now. Like, you look back and you just laugh and think about where you were in that place, just young and dumb. But friend, why didn't you help me? You didn't help me because I didn't help you. But yeah, see, that was a moment where my friend should have said, girl, maybe you shouldn't be hanging off balconies. Maybe you shouldn't. I mean, like, literally, guys, okay? Hanging off a balcony, cops could have been called on me, anything. Like, it could have definitely gone completely wrong. But, you know, it didn't, you know, nonetheless, relationship not working out. That's not my husband, but decision making, guys, and sometimes there are times to be silent, and then there are times not. Those were times not. Now let's give some better examples as we age and mature. So recently, I have like one of my like best friends. She's like a sister, family. I mean, she knows I love her. And, you know, again, with age comes knowing when to talk, when not to talk. She's in a situation that I don't like, and she's aware that I don't like it. Many people that do know her situation don't like it. Anytime I think where there is abuse, I don't care, one time too many. I've seen too many things happen with people, you know, so I'm not for it. And especially anytime where you become disfigured out of the situation, it's time to go. But I voiced my piece because I think that there is a time to speak. But in the time to be silent, I also recognize in anybody who has been in an abusive situation, or you have a friend who has been abused, or somebody you've supported, then one of the worst things that you can do is constantly talk about or tear down the abuser. Because what that does is simply elevate that person in this other person's mind, and they will isolate because you're attacking them, you're shaming them, you're judging them. When again, because it's not rational thinking necessarily, but I don't want to do that. And then at the risk her isolating herself, and then I don't know, have a clue or, inside what's going on. I want her to feel comfortable as a friend, as somebody she cares about, to be able to tell me whatever she wants to tell me. So if I do need to get her help, then I can. Now, this doesn't mean that this comes free of wisdom and making good choices, because I'm a mom, I'm a wife. I'm somebody's daughter, all these things. And so no, like if you choose, because that same ride or die aspect, I cannot put myself in harm's way. So no, like if you choose to be in that kind of situation, I might not, interject myself in certain ways, because when you've chosen to be in it, because I've done that before. I've done that where a friend's husband was slapping her across the face with a car seat. I've been there where I've stood and, said my piece, stood up, took the kids, had them at my house, all these just for the person to go right back. So, I can't put myself at risk if you choose to stay in said situation. But keeping the lines of communication open, I can still know when to do and when not to do. Now, this does not mean that I will never speak up. If I hear things that sound foolish, or I hear that it sounds like we're headed in a dangerous direction, then we got to speak up. We got to speak up. And this can go for even simple situations. I have a friend now who's been in just kind of, a messy situation, and it's been very just, a lot of opinions on her relationship, things like that. They naturally come, family, friends, people have opinions. And, and just we live in a time of social media where everybody puts everything on social media, and, family members, friends take sides. Fine. And I tell myself this all the time, just because, again, in the time we live in is so different than what before. Like, we got to tell friends to shut up. Don't say that. That won't be good. But now, like with social media, I text my friend, girl, give me your phone. Give me your phone. And sometimes, like, even like, just like in my own family situations, I just got to be like, tell my cousin, tell my mom, like, look, it's not worth it. Just give me your phone. So I say this to say, like, my opinion is there is a time to be silent. Allergies. There's a time to be silent, and there's a time to speak. I think overall, though, if I had to choose, I don't want to say never. I say never trust a friend who speaks, but a good friend reflects and listens, I would say, more than they speak, so they can really hear you. And I think that's just in any kind of effective communication. There's really, in order to be an effective communicator, for as much as you speak, you have to step back and listen, because sometimes we can be missing something. Sometimes how somebody says something can make us interpret something in a way that might not necessarily be the way that something's being said. So we really have to step back as friends, listen to one another, reflect, then respond. But there is a time to respond, and sometimes when we don't respond, we are not being the best friend that we should be. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know have you ever had any funny situations where you spoke up or shouldn't have spoke up? I want to hear it, guys. And be looking for another video from me real soon. I love you guys. Have a great, great day. Talk to you guys later.